Welcome to our program, Excerpts from Essays, first series by Ralph Waldo Emerson, Vegetarian, part 2 of 2 on Words of Wisdom. Ralph Waldo Emerson, Vegetarian, was a renowned 19th century American essayist, philosopher, lecturer, poet, and leader of the transcendental philosophical movement. His literature influenced many celebrated writers, including Henry David Thoreau and Walt Whitman. Emerson is most famous for his essays, through which he expresses ideas of freedom, spirituality, individuality, the remarkable ability of humans to have profound realizations, and the relationship between the soul and the surrounding world. Ralph Waldo Emerson traveled widely, giving lectures, and became well known for his publications, Essays, and Nature. Let us continue exploring the profound philosophical ideas of Ralph Waldo Emerson, Vegetarian, through Circles from Essays First Series. Circles. There are degrees in idealism. We learn first to play with it academically, as the magnet was once a toy. Then we see in the heyday of youth and poetry that it may be true, that it is true and gleams in fragments. Then its countenance waxes stern and grand, and we see that it must be true. It now shows itself as ethical and practical. We learn that God is, that He is in me, and that all things are shadows of Him. The idealism of Berkeley is only a crude statement of the idealism of Jesus. And that again is a crude statement of the fact that all nature is the rapid efflux of goodness executing and organizing itself. Much more obvious is history and the state of the world at any one time, directly dependent on the intellectual classification then existing in the minds of men. The things which are dear to men at this hour are so on account of the ideas which have emerged on their mental horizon, in which cause the present order of things as a tree bears its apples. A new degree of culture would instantly revolutionize the entire system of human pursuits. We have the same need to command a view of the religion of the world. We can never see Christianity from the catechism, from the pastures, from a boat in the pond, from amidst the songs of woodbirds we possibly may, cleansed by the elemental light and wind, steeped in the sea of beautiful forms which the field offers us. We may chance to cast a right glance back upon biography. Christianity is rightly dear to the best of mankind. Yet was there never a young philosopher whose breeding had fallen into the Christian church, by whom that brave text of Paul's was not specially prized? Then shall also the Son be subject unto him who put all things under him, that God may be all in all. Let the claims and virtues of persons be never so great and welcome. The instinct of man presses eagerly onward to the impersonal and illimitable, and gladly arms itself against the dogmatism of bigots with this generous word out of the book itself. One man's justice is another's injustice. One man's beauty, another's ugliness. One man's wisdom, another's folly, as one beholds the same objects from a higher point. One man thinks justice consists in paying debts, and has no measure in his abhorrence of another, who is very remiss in his duty, and makes the creditor wait tediously. But that second man has his own way of looking at things. He asks himself, which debt must I pay first? The debt to the rich, or the debt to the poor? The debt of money, or the debt of thought to mankind, of genius to nature? For you, O broker, there is no other principle but arithmetic. For me, commerce is of trivial import. Love, faith, the truth of character, the aspiration of man, these are sacred, nor can I detach one duty, like you, from all other duties, and concentrate my forces mechanically on the payment of moneys. Let me live onward. You shall find that, though slower, the progress of my character will liquidate all these debts without injustice to higher claims. If a man should dedicate himself to the payment of notes, would not this be injustice? Does he owe no debt but money? And are all claims on him to be postponed to a landlord's or a banker's? There is no virtue which is final. All are initial. The virtues of society are vices of the saint. The terror of reform is the discovery that we must cast away our virtues, or what we have always esteemed such, into the same pit that has consumed our grosser vices. Forgive his crimes, forgive his virtues too. Those smaller faults, half converts to the right. It is the highest power of divine moments that they abolish our contritions also. I accuse myself of sloth and unprofitableness day by day. But when these waves of God flow into me, I no longer reckon lost time. I no longer poorly compute my possible achievement by what remains to me of the month or the year. For these moments confer a sort of omnipresence and omnipotence which asks nothing of duration, but sees that the energy of the mind is commensurate with the work to be done without time. Life is a series of surprises. We do not guess today the mood, the pleasure, the power of tomorrow, when we are building up our being. Of lower states, of acts of routine and sense, we can tell somewhat, but the masterpieces of God, the total gross and universal movements of the soul, He hides. They are incalculable. I can know that truth is divine and helpful, but how it shall help me, I can have no guess. For so to be is the sole inlet of so to know. The new position of the advancing man has all the powers of the old, yet has them all new. It carries in its bosom all the energies of the past, yet is itself an exhalation of the morning. I cast away in this new moment all my once hoarded knowledge as vacant and vain. Now, for the first time, seem I to know anything rightly. The simplest words, we do not know what they mean except when we love and aspire. For more information, please visit Project Gutenberg, gutenberg.org.
Vegan, because we are for the love of God.